Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call to order the special committee of the whole meeting of the Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois, to be held here on Wednesday, August 6, 2025, beginning at 5:45 p.m. in the council chambers located in Tinley Park Village Hall, Tinley Park, Illinois. Madam Clerk, I think right now, Mr. Kenshaw. Oh, sorry. Nancy, can you please call the roll? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Brennan? Trustee Mahoney?
Present.
Trustee Mueller?
Here.
Trustee Shaw?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan? Here. President Glotz?
We have a quorum. Hand it over to you, Trustee Shaw.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller. I would like to make a motion to appoint Trustee Mueller as President Pro Tem for the Committee of the Whole meeting dated August 6, 2025.
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk, can you call a roll for Trustee Shaw's motion?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan? Yes.
That motion carries. At this time, we'll move on to item number 3, looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the Committee of the Whole held on July 15th, 2025.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Bill. Madam, we're going to go to a vote by voice today to speed things up. Long agenda. So all those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? That motion carries. Next, we'll discuss awarding a Class B liquor license to Pete's Fresh Market at 16280 Harlem Avenue. Are there any questions or comments from the board on item number 4? Seeing none, I'd look for a motion to move item number 4 to the village board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 5, discuss a Cook County Class 8 renewal request for 16846 Oak Park Avenue, Siam Marina Properties, the restaurant there on Oak Park Avenue. Any questions from the board on item number 5?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a question. I just want to make a comment on this. I am supporting this reclass, but I've already expressed to Hannah that I would, going forward, there's some additional reporting and analysis I'd like to be doing on these, just as a general statement, so that we can make sure that we're on top of these and we see which ones are coming up in the near future, and we could plan for them. We see them coming up, but that's not specific to this particular request. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. I'll just say, looking through the packet and seeing the improvements that they continue to do that restaurant, I think it's a great addition to Tinley Park. Helping them out with the class renewal, I think is a great help. So happy to keep them here in town and improving that location. So any other questions from the board? All those in favor of moving, looking for a motion to move item number 5 to the village board meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Dennis, for the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. Moving on to item number 6, discuss a memorandum of agreement with International Union of Operating Engineers Local 150, creating a second shift. This will help out with some of the increased maintenance and work that we need to do centered around Harmony Square. So thanks for bringing this to our attention, John. Any questions or comments from the board on item number 6? I'll look for a motion now to move item number 6 to the village board meeting later tonight.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Thank you, Dennis. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Those opposed? That motion carries. Now we'll move on to item number 7. Discuss amendments certain sections of Title 3, Chapter 33 of the Tinley Park Village Code entitled Police Department. Any questions about item number 7 from the board? At this time, I'll look for a motion to move item number 7 to the village board meeting later on tonight.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Colleen.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? That motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, discuss amending civil service rules and regulations. Any questions from the village board on item number 8? I'll look for a motion to move item number 8 to the village board meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Colleen.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. All those in favor of item number 8, moving to the village board? Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 9, discuss a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and Alvarez and Associates for public and private sector consulting services. Any questions or comments from the board on item number 9? I'll look for a motion to move item number 9 to the village board meeting later on this evening.
I'll second.
No, you need to make-
Oh,
You'll-
sorry, I thought you said.
No, you'll the motion. Thank you, Colleen. Looking for a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 10, discuss an agreement with Robinson Engineering for Brookside Creek Stormwater Improvement Construction Observation Services in the not-to-exceed amount of $50,000. Any questions or comments from the board on item number 10? Looking for a motion to move item number 10 to the village board meeting tonight.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Thank you, Dennis. All those in favor of item number 10 being moved to the village board meeting?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 11, discuss a contract with Alicio and Sons Company for Brookside Creek Stormwater Improvement Construction. Any questions or comments from the board on item number 11? Looking for a motion to move item number 11 to the village board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Dennis. All those in favor of moving item number 11 to the village board meeting? Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 12, discuss a contract renewal with NeoGov for recruitment and onboarding performance management training and e-form subscriptions. Any questions from the board on this renewal for our HR department? All right, I'll look for a motion to move item number 12 to the village board meeting later on tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Colleen. All those in favor of moving item number 12 to the village board meeting? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 13, discuss contract extension of the Horton Group brokerage and consulting agreement. Any questions or comments from the board on item number 13? I'll look for a motion now to move item number 13 to the village board meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Colleen.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dennis. All those in favor of moving item number 13 to the village board meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 14, discuss the adoption of a 401A retirement savings plan for specific positions. Any questions or comments from the board on item number 14? I'll look for a motion to move item number 14 to the village board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Brady.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dennis. All those in favor of moving item number 14 to the village board meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 15, discuss the purchase of annual maintenance of emergency notification software from OnSolve. Any questions or comments from the board on item number 15? I'll look for a motion to move item number 15 to the village board meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Colleen.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. All those in favor of moving item number 15 to the village board meeting? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 16, discuss the purchase of annual maintenance of 911 dispatch software from Central Square. Any questions or comments on our annual maintenance of our 911 dispatch software? I'll look for a motion now to move item number 16 to the village board.
I'll make the motion.
Thanks,
I'll second.
Colleen. Thank you, Dennis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 17, discuss adding a new chapter under Title, is that 7 of the Village Code to regulate the use of non-highway vehicles within the village, e-bikes and scooters. Hannah, I believe you were going to give a little bit of context around this one for the village board?
Correct. Thank you, trustee Mueller. So this is actually an ordinance that we wanted to bring before the board for some discussion and for some feedback. So the ordinance before you is kind of the most expansive that we would be looking to do. It more so covers the entirety of the town, if you will. I think what we want to do right now is more so just focus in on Harmony Square itself. I think obviously with it being a big new plaza with all the events and things, it's a learning curve that comes with it. So we have a checklist internally that we're starting to work through. But first and foremost, one of the big things that we're having issues with is the e-bikes and the scooters. They are already kind of going all over the turf, and I don't want to say damaging it, but it could become a big issue pretty quickly. So we just wanted to get some feedback from the board. Again, we have a variety of different things that we're going to kind of do a nuisance ordinance, if you will, relating to Harmony Square. Multiple departments are working on it between the manager's office, police, marketing, public works, community development. So right now what we want to focus the discussion on is the e-bikes and just kind of seeing if you're all on board with making sure that we're limiting it in public places or places like the plaza itself. So and then if there is any other direction or things you want us to think of that we could include, we'd be happy to do so.
All right. We'll open it up to questions or comments from the village board. Is there anybody that would like to comment on the proposed kind of ordinance or kind of the nuisance portion that Hannah was just speaking to?
Go first, Ken?
Well, I will defer if any of the other board members have something to say first. I've already spoken to Pat and at least one or two of you individually, so I've given my critique of it, so I want to hear from the rest first.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Dennis?
I don't have too much to touch on this really, but I mean, in a general statement, obviously if there's any kind of wrongdoing or anybody breaking the law of any kind of nature, whether it be in Harmony Square or around the town in general, obviously there's gonna be circumstances that you're gonna pay the price for doing those, right? I know it's a very broad and general statement. I don't know how granular and how, in my opinion, how much of our resources we want to use at a police with e-bikes, okay? Again, there's been a lot of talk back and forth on the speeds, safety, and I completely understand that. Excuse me. As far as the speeds, again, I'll touch briefly on that. I know there's been conversations, the 20, 25 miles an hour on an e-bike, and how it could be unsafe. Again, in my opinion, I think you could do those similar speeds on a normal manual pedal bike. I do think that there's more out there in general. As a parent myself, our family is aware of it, and also taking some extra precautions, teaching safety on these bikes, teaching more general safety during the daytime versus the nighttime, with kids, with police, with the community and residents, with more going on in Harmony Square in the downtown area. So I guess I would probably just leave it at that right now. If someone's committing a crime and doing wrong, they should be it should be taken care of accordingly. I don't really want to use our resources when I believe there's a lot more things we should be using the police for. So hopefully that makes sense to a degree. So. I'm sure we've had multiple discussions on this. I'm sure there's going to be more within the coming weeks before our next meeting as well. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that for right now.
Mr. Brady?
Yes, I'm glad this is being brought up. I agree with Dennis and his point of view on that. But safety is utmost concern and protection of Harmony Square as Hannah has pointed out. But, you know, they have programs out there and different things about beware of motorcycles, watch out for motorcycles that are on the highways. I think the problem that we should be addressed is to keep these bikes off major highways, okay? That's the main thing, and the ones that I see around my neighborhood, and there's plenty of them, there's no lights on them either. There's no reflectors, there's no white lights, there's no red lights. So you're lucky to see them at nighttime if it wasn't for our street lights to illuminate them. So it needs to be addressed, and I think it's a good time to do it, starting with Harmony Square.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. I'll just say, completely agree. Let's focus on Harmony Square and some of the nuisance stuff there. I know that it's become a bit of a problem, and that's something that we should be able to curb with some targeted areas. I know we've rode e-bikes, or not e-bikes, e-scooters downtown. They actually have geo-zoned Millennium Park, and so when you have one of those scooters that you rent, when you get into Millennium Square or Millennium Park, you're shut off. It doesn't let you go. And like, that's a really creative way to do that. I don't think we have a lot of scooter rentals here in Tinley Park, unfortunately, so that's not really a practical thing. But something along those lines, there's gotta be a way for us to let folks use these scooters, use them responsibly, use them to have more mobility around our neighborhoods. I live in Brookside Glen. The kids use them responsibly. They use them before dawn, or not before dawn, after dawn and before dusk, so that they're not out there when they're dark unless they have the lighting that you need to be seen. So, you know, I really just think we focus on that nuisance stuff. The ordinance as it's presented, I'll just say I think it just feels a little overly restrictive, and I don't think it's in line with kind of our connected, multimodal, you know, looking for alternatives to cars vision that we've put together in our comprehensive plan and what we've put together in our Tinley in Tune planning document either. I think we're missing the mark with those goals that we have with restrictions like this. So that's kind of my 2 cents. Happy to forward it on to the village manager and assistant manager to help shepherd this one through, along with chief, of course. Go ahead.
I just agree that we should have restrictions in Harmony Square. I did see some kids riding their bikes, and they were attempting to do burnouts on the turf. So, you know, we do want to keep it nice. And then with the water feature with children there, I think it's just good just to ban it in that area. I don't like the idea of, you know, banning it outside of some of these public places. I think the majority of kids do use these responsibly. You know, if we could have some sort of, I've seen other towns have like, you know, e-bike awareness, like, you know, little seminar type things. I don't know if kids would attend something like that or not, but, you know, and there's also already an Illinois state ordinance, so I'm not sure how much that's restricting anyone from doing anything. But I do think, I think the way the ordinance is set right now, it's a little bit much, and I think we need to dive in more, or kind of take some things away just to make it sure that we're just focusing on the areas where we do not want e-bikes. I think Harmony Square, you know, there's so many events that are going on there. There's a lot of events for little kids there. I don't think we need, you know, kids zipping through there on their e-bikes when there's children around and things like that. So, so that's my thoughts on it. Not an overall ban, but just little restricted areas I'm fine with.
Madam Clerk?
I mainly agree with Colleen. I think it needs to just be for certain areas. I actually think this is far too restrictive as written here. And I actually think that bicycles in general should not be allowed in Harmony Square. There's too many people. There's too many things that could happen. Just ban all those there as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, this is a can of worms, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, again, I've got grandkids that ride them with helmets, and we're responsible. But I've been on the road where kids have cut right in front of me, and I've had to slam on my brakes. So I think it now comes down to parents teaching their kids to be responsible. That's, you know, that's what it comes back to. And maybe, I think maybe a seminar, you know, have an e-bike, come and learn the rules of the road.
Bill, you could teach that. You like doing those.
Yes, we could.
Mr. Safety.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yes,
What's that?
Louise.
Just offering Bill's services for bike safety.
All right. Well, I appreciate hearing the rest of the board. For the most part, because as you all know, I wrote a lot on this. So having you guys say what you said, I don't need to do it because I agreed with and had cited pretty much everything that you guys had said. A couple of points I want to say on it. First of all, Hannah, I appreciate you laying the context out in that this is a draft ordinance, and in order to facilitate discussion, you kind of threw everything in there, right? So what is the absolute most restrictive thing we could do? Here it is, right here, and pick and choose, right? Work from the top down there. So I appreciate that context because that, I think, many of us, it hit us in a certain way, like, whoa, this is it's heavy-handed. It's just way too restrictive across the board. In comparison to many other communities around here, it goes far and beyond what anybody else is doing. And I just, for one, I don't think that that's the posture that we're known for, and I don't think that's the posture that we want to take on this. That said, there's, I think, secondly, there's a lot of work that needs to be done here. I think that we should do something on all these topics. Before we do, what I had asked is that I would recommend that we have some sort of open town hall type meeting where people who are just completely opposed to anything like this on the street at any time, come out and have your say. People who think that we shouldn't have any restrictions whatsoever, come out and have your say. I think before we really settle this, that we do need to hear more from the public. And I don't believe we need the formality of a public hearing. Just, open the doors and say, come on in, we're gonna talk about this, and let's hear you out. And then once we get closer to something final, we've heard from the public, both sides, whoever has an opinion on it. Because in looking at other communities around here who have come out with a fairly firm approach, the public's unhappy. And I don't know if that's just the people who are unhappy are really loud, and the people who love it are just, they're like, yay, it's done. One way or another, we need to get down to it. We can't be guessing. There's, so because of the context you put there, and I've already written it, I'm not gonna go into all the details of what my objections were to a few of these here. But as a general rule, I think that how we should be approaching this and many other things, instead of approaching it from strictly enforcement, we should be trying to do things, as you said, public awareness, educate people about what the rules are, because last year, the state legislature already passed a law on e-scooters that's in effect today, and you see people are out there violating it every single day. And I don't see any reason for us to create a local ordinance that mirrors what's going on in the state. We could certainly go even further than the state. I don't think we need to, or I don't think we should. But I think a public awareness campaign, that sort of thing, I know in years past there have been the, I forget what they call safety town things where there's bicycle safety. I honestly, I don't recall whether that incorporates scooters in there, but maybe it's time. If it doesn't, then we can think about that sort of thing. I think that pretty much covers it. Between that and what everyone else just listed out there, I think that's good. The big thing is let the public know that we're looking at this and we're being prudent about how we approach it. It's not knee-jerk. We're just going to come in and have all this heavy-handed ordinance, because if we did everything that's in this draft ordinance, I don't think it's enforceable. So we really need to think, sure, we can write down whatever we want, but if we're not enforcing it, then what's the value of it?
I have a question too. So the way that the Illinois state ordinance is written, do we have to have a village ordinance if we were to ban them in, say, Harmony Square? Or does the ordinance kind of supersede everything anyway? Or do you have to have the
So if, if the village wants to ban them in Harmony Square as well as bikes or anything else like that, you know, the discussion that we were having is possibly creating sort of a standalone ordinance for Harmony Square itself, to say that here are the things that are allowed in Harmony Square, here are the things that are prohibited, because there's other things, other concerns that the village has as it relates to using Harmony Square. You know, different things that can destroy the very valuable turf that you guys just put in. So I am working with the village to craft an ordinance related to that. As it relates to e-bikes themselves and e-scooters, you're correct, there is a state statute that governs them. The state statute does specifically state that communities can adopt something that's more restrictive than what's in the state statute. Now, the state statute does govern, you know, use of these modes of transportation, if you will, on certain specific types of roads. You know, they're not allowed to be used on a highway, you know, but they are allowed to be used on certain types of roads. And when putting the ordinance together, you know, we're, you know, kind of looking at various things that various other communities have done, what seems to be successful, what seems to not be successful, and that's sort of how we crafted it together. And yes, it is definitely on the restrictive side, but this was certainly just a, if you will, just like sort of a proposal to see, okay, you know, this is the only time we can all get together and talk about it.
Right.
So this is a point, it was, you know, to bring it up for a point of discussion. But back to your question, as it specifically relates to Harmony Square, yes, you guys do need to pass something if you want to restrict it in Harmony Square. Something will need to be approved.
And if we wanted to, so if we have an ordinance strictly for e-bikes, can we add on to that of anything else that's restricted specific to Harmony Square?
Yeah,
Like
well, that's
dogs?
exactly
I mean, I know
what we're.
people love walking their dogs there, but it's already starting to be a problem, and that turf does not handle dog waste
Well,
very
that's exactly
so.
part of what we're going with, you know, we're looking at the various uses, things that are gonna be prohibited in Harmony Square, such as, you know, something, you're chewing gum while you're on the turf. If you spit the gum out and the gum gets in the turf, that gum can ruin the turf, so that's something we're looking at. So, you know, various ideas of how to preserve, you know, this nice new facility that you guys have built and this, you know, public venue that you guys have built and tried to keep it nice.
Right.
So that's, I think, the collective goal of the board here. So, yeah, I am working with the administration to craft something, to put something together to present to the board. We're hoping to have that by the 19th, I believe. So that should be before you guys at the next COW as well as the next board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
That sounds very good.
May I?
Briefly.
Briefly, I just want to pick up on what Ken and Colleen said. And Chief, back in 2003, okay, the police department had a bicycle rodeo, police rodeo, and they had various stations of men working there, some officers, a lot of us were Boy Scout leaders, and we had this rodeo, and they had it set up with a stop sign there and a stoplight. They checked the height of the seats, they checked the handlebars, pressure on the tires, and so on and so forth. So this was an event that we helped out at, and they had, you know, T-shirts and everything, bike rodeo, sponsored by the Tinley Park Police Department. So that was something that we did do and make them aware of, safe bicycle riding. You know, that was before scooters, okay? So we used to have that.
Sounds very good. So plenty of direction and guidance from the board. We will continue to work with everybody to draft something up for hopefully the next meeting.
Yep, thank you for the input, everybody.
Fantastic. So that is item number 17. Moving on to item 18, we will now receive comments from the public. So please keep in mind that this is a special meeting. Comments from the public will be restricted to comments about the agenda from the COW meeting this evening. At this time, would anybody like to address the community of the whole? Let the record reflect there was none. I will now look for a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole meeting.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Ken. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on the adjournment of the special COW meeting tonight?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. We are adjourned. We will be right back for the village board meeting.